All right, let's talk Miami Dolphins. Obviously, this season hasn't started the way Dolphins fans have wanted to. The injury to Tua, the big reason why Tua is back, as I'm sure most of you are aware of. A lot of questions and consternation are about how the Dolphins are approaching Tua with his concussion. What moves are they making to try and help him out as best they can? There's been some criticism recently, but based on some latest news, it looks like the Dolphins and Tua are taking a smart approach in terms of one particular move. I think that smart decision by the Dolphins should be good for Tua. I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, when it comes to this 2-4 Miami Dolphins team, we have to take it with a grain of salt because obviously Tua's been hurt. He is returning in time for this Arizona Cardinals matchup. That's pretty close to a must win for Miami. But the question is, the biggest question for the Dolphins is, what are they doing in terms of Tua protecting him both for the rest of the season and long term? Obviously, concussions, no joke whatsoever. A lot of criticism has come with the Miami Dolphins in terms of what are they doing to make sure he has the protection he needs. Is he going to wear the Guardian cap? Is he not? Looks like the Dolphins and Tua are actually taking a smart approach based on this latest news we've got here. Let's pull it up here courtesy of SI.com. Tua Tagovailoa, who suffered yet another concussion earlier this season to add to his long history of head injuries, told the media earlier this week that he does not plan to wear a Guardian cap, a cushion on top of his helmet designed to further protect players from head injuries. Some criticized Tagovailoa's decision, especially considering his concussion history, but neuroscientist Chris Nowinski had his own take on the Dolphins' quarterback decision. Give Tua Tagovailoa a break on the Guardian cap, Nowinski wrote in a post on X. All three of his 2022 concussions were from falling back and hitting his head striking the ground. Adding 14 ounces to his helmet would make head-to-head ground impacts even more likely. Better off never hitting the ground versus hitting it with a pad. While the Guardian cap has its benefits, it clearly has its limitations as well, especially when considering how Tagovailoa has historically become concussed. This was a really insightful report. It makes a lot of sense when I heard it on X, and I think it's a great sign for both Tua fans and Dolphins fans that the quarterback and the team are taking a smart approach, doing everything they possibly can to handle this the right way, both for the Dolphins' success on the field and Tua obviously trying to avoid these catastrophic head injuries going forward. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, but first, Dolphins fans, in the comment section below, this weekend you've got a chance to turn this whole year around. You've got a matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. Win this game with Tua, and you look like you're back. Let us know in the comment section what you think the final score will be. Dolphins, Cardinals, really interested what you guys have to say, so let us know final score in the comment section below. But Miles, what are your thoughts on this latest news with Tua and just everything with the Dolphins right now?
Yeah, Nick, I think this is a really smart approach to looking at things by this neurologist on X because we get into this headspace sometimes, I think, where everyone's like, well, the Guardian cap prevents concussions, he's got to wear it. Well, you don't look into things and you say, well, it does prevent some concussions and it only prevents it 10 to 15% less likely. So it's not like a cure-all. It's not like if Tua was to wear the Guardian cap, he magically would never get a concussion again. And then you even go on further. There's other sources. Some people might say, well, this is just a neurologist on X, who I would say has some really incredibly valid points. But there's other things that people are missing as well. And there's even the NFL's own chief medical doctor, Alan Sills, has come out and said that Tua's decision to not wear a Guardian cap is A-OK by the NFL because the helmet that Tua is wearing, the VC02 Matrix ID, that is a heck of a name for a helmet, but his choice to wear that helmet is one of the NFL's very few, but there are some helmets that are safe enough that they are now called Guardian Cap optional. These have been tested in the lab, and it's shown that there's enough padding, there's enough protection in these helmets that if you were to get contact to the head, if you were to get any sort of injury, it was just as safe as the Guardian cap. So, Tua wearing the best helmet he can, and if you look at the neurologist on X, what he posted, I think it makes sense. Having extra weight on the head, the quarterback wants their helmet as light as possible anyway, so that they can move their head more easily to make their reads. But that bouncing off of the turf, that was the problem for Tua. Those are the concussions. It's not like targeting head-to-head contact. It's Tua getting hit and his head bouncing violently off the turf. That extra weight is not going to help in this situation. So I think the way that the Dolphins and Tua and everybody involved have gone around this is very smart. It's a very scientific way of doing it. I think him making the change in helmet is going to be a really big difference as well. So I think they're doing everything they can to possibly keep Tua healthy. And at the end of the day, it's Tua's decision. If he wants to play, if he wants to continue going, I think he's done his research. He knows what he needs to do. So I think they've done this absolutely the right way.
You know, when I first heard this story, I was reminded of what the former NFL player and later turned author Tim Green once said about padding in the NFL. And one of the reasons he talked about how if playing in the NFL is like trying to dodge semi trucks on the interstate, right? He's like, if semis are coming at you, you don't want a bunch of pads. You want to be as nimble and as quick and as mobile as possible to get out of the way of the semi, as opposed to everything you can to like bundle up and protect yourself from the semi truck. And that's a similar kind of thought here with the Miami Dolphins with Tua and the Guardian cap. And I give a lot of credit to the Dolphins here because it could have been so easy just for PR purposes alone to mandate Tua to wear the Guardian cap, just so that way, God forbid, if something happens again, we can say, listen, we told him to wear the Guardian cap. It's not on us. We did everything we could. We got this funky little helmet thing going on to protect Tua. We put it on him, the Guardian cap. Listen, we did everything we could as a team. It's not our fault. Obviously, based on the science, that's not true, right? The Guardian cap doesn't help with the kind of concussions Tua normally gets. But the Dolphins, still as an organization, could have played the safe PR route to make themselves look good, a little CYA, if you will. Credit to the Dolphins for listening to the people that actually know what the heck they're talking about, understanding Tua's specific application and risk, and doing everything for the player's personal safety, not just doing things for PR and publicity. I think a big problem with a lot of these teams when it comes to injuries and situations like this, they're more focused on the PR and the public perception than they are on the reality of what's best for the player, what's best for the team. Give a lot of credit to the Dolphins and obviously all the doctors involved in Tua as well, frankly, for understanding it's not about PR, it's about handling things the right way. Because I remember when it was first announced on the internet that Tua wasn't going to wear a Guardian cap, you had all these people coming out here talking about like, oh, what are the Dolphins doing? This is stupid. Tua's an idiot, blah, 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 blah. The reality is they are looking, they've done the research, they've done the analysis, and based on what this doctor's saying, it makes perfect sense to me. A Guardian cap is extra weight. The whole point is really for linemen. That's what people don't understand about the Guardian cap. It's the bashing of heads at the line of scrimmage where you basically are head first contact with a 300-pound dude moving 1,000,000 miles per second, accelerating off the line of scrimmage. Tua's, most of his concussions, as the article noted, has been whiplash, right? Completely different dynamic. Tua needs mobility, not just to play his position, but just to protect his head going forward. Credit to the Miami Dolphins, Tua, the doctors, everybody for ignoring the stupid PR crap and focusing on what's best for the player. I really hope Tua comes out and plays well the rest of his career and hopefully has no more injuries. He is, when healthy, one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. We've talked about it all the time. This offense with Tua healthy is one of the best ones in the National Football League. They're one of the more exciting teams in the NFL. I hope everything continues to trend in the right direction. No more injuries for Tua, and this team gets rock and rolling because we saw it over the past couple of years. This is one of the more fun, exciting football teams that you'll see in like the last 2 decades. With Tyreek Hill, Waddle, Tua, throw the ball over the place, A-Chain. They're as exciting as it gets. I'm excited to see personally how they look this weekend going forward. And again, I'm going to keep saying this. Credit to the Miami Dolphins for not falling into the stupid PR trap just to make themselves look good on social media and actually following what the experts are saying here and what Tua wants as well. Great move by them.